So here at the TechCrunch Disrupt New York 2013, the final presentations of the battlefield have just finished, and the judges are there discussing who is going to win. But besides the competition, there is a lot going on here, like conferences, and we have here Roi Carthy from Israel TechCrunch and from Initial Capital, who we have to disclaim is also an investor in Startup. And right, comparing to other editions of TechCrunch Disrupt, how do you see this one event? What is like a difference?
Well, I don't think there's much of a difference in terms of a quality of content and companies. I think it was, again, a very strong year. Different companies. I think we saw a considerably a smaller amount of social companies. Everybody's mobile, but less social. The venue is different. I think it's a much better venue than we had in previous years. Very intimate, very nice. The networking, I thought, was very effective. All in all, a very, very good show, I think.
Some people said there were more investors than like in San Francisco, here in New York. Do you believe that?
I'm not really sure. I spent my time more with the entrepreneurs than the investors, but that could be the case. I'm not sure.
And you find the entrepreneurs like more business oriented than in general?
I think there's a little more focus of late on the business model. I think the entrepreneurs are realizing they have to think about revenue slightly earlier than maybe in previous years. At least that's my experience, or what I've sensed in this disrupt.
More like applied business model innovation than creating pure tech.
Yeah, but also kind of basic business models. Not so much innovating the business model, so much as with the products, with the basic business models that we're used to, but applying them much earlier.
More like having one. And but we had the hardware startups too. So do you believe since software is eating the world, is now hardware eating software?
No, well, first, I mean, let's remember, all these things operate on software. This isn't hardware for hardware's sake. I think it's actually providing software new opportunities because these are brand new products and services that will and do require software. So in fact, we're seeing innovation on the software side simply because of the hardware.
Yesterday night, you organized like a meeting where Brazilian and Israeli startups could present and pitch. And how do you see them evolve from time to time? I mean, looking today at the Brazilian market, at the Israeli market, or any other market you want to look at, do you think we are moving forward as a collective of innovation people?
You mean together? Um, well, the connection is really through initial capital. So where we were yesterday was an event organized by the U.S. Israel Business Council. So it's an nonprofit organization aimed at developing and progressing Israeli business in the United States. Because of our connection there, we were very fortunate to invite the Brazilians. What I think will happen is Brazil will also need these types of organizations, and I think where the connection will be the modeling of these organizations and these efforts upon the Israeli experience and the Israeli models. Hopefully, we can also share as many events of the such as the one we had yesterday together, again and again here in New York and of course in San Francisco.
Did you have like your favorite panel that happened here? Or favorite speaker?
Wow. I thought the first day was really interesting. I liked Chris Dixon. I enjoyed Fred Wilson this morning. I thought the Rap Genius guys were surprisingly insightful when you looked under the silliness. It was a very interesting panel. I actually thought it was very surprising. Definitely the most surprising panel of the event.
And which of the startups you believe is going to win?
Okay, well, if I had to choose, if I had to put money on one, my gut feeling, or at least the one I'd like to win, I think is Floored. I thought it was a very impressive solid product, solid business model, very impressive demo. The Q&A was right on the money as well. I thought if I was on the judges panel, that would certainly, unquestionably, be my pick. So I hope they win.
Like a recommendation for the Brazilian entrepreneurs who are watching us, what should they care about?
They should care about a business model. I think that's always important. I think in recent years we got the impression that there's a luxury to push that down the road. I think that in some cases that is the case, but most often than not, that it isn't. I would say focus on business models, build compelling businesses with solid value propositions, simple ones, on solid business models. Not Don't try to innovate the business model. Innovate the product. Innovate the service. Keep them as simple as possible, but innovate there. But have basic, concrete business models. That's always my solid advice.
It will help them and help possible investors, and that's why mentors are important to help them find that way, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think the quicker investors and advisors and the entrepreneurs embrace this, the better I think it will be for everyone in the ecosystem, in my opinion.
Well, thank you, Roy. Have a good time.
Thank you. My pleasure.